did that. I want you to know. When we set our intention, when we focus on something, we create things that are better than we even dreamed possible. And I love this time of year because this is the time of year that I take personal responsibility for your prosperity. Because being rich is better than being poor. I know I've done them both. Having come into this world, the 5th child in 8 years, I had an older brother that looked around and said, "I don't think so," and went out very quickly. I knew what it was like to live in the world of have not. Haven't got enough time, haven't got enough money, haven't got enough food. We used to be told we ate when we didn't eat. I mean, do they think that children just don't remember? Banned from neighbors' yards, and I learned how to steal at a very young age. But having done that and found my way in my 20s into this teaching, I know what is possible. I know that if we get hold of our thoughts, and if we learn how to focus, if we set intentions and have the willingness to do the inner work to change how we see the world, how we see ourselves, how we respond to circumstances, to do the tough choices, which isn't go into the old stinking thinking of complaining and looking at lack and limitation because that's all we ever knew. The tough choices are to learn how to say yes. The tough choices are to learn how to open to all of the abundance and prosperity of life, to live a different life than the life we've always lived. If we're willing to do that, we can totally transform. We can transform inside of ourselves, and then that transformation manifests on the outside. So many people think it's all about money. It's not all about money. Money is a byproduct. Money is an old thought. Don't worry about your money. Worry about your consciousness. For that matter, don't worry. Change your consciousness. Teach yourself, train yourself to think the thoughts that you want to live. And that means that when you awaken in the morning, you don't go, "Oh God, it's morning." You go, "Good morning, God." You say, "This is a great day. Today is a happy day. Today is the best day ever." Start to focus on what you've got. My goodness, you're waking up. That's a plus. Most of us slept in a house last night. Most of us had a bed with sheets. Most of us got in a car to come here today. Most of us ate. If we haven't eaten this morning yet, we ate yesterday. Most of us have clothes to wear with a change of clothes. We have choices in our lives, and yet still people can come into my office and go, "I don't have anything." Really? There are people that don't have anything. You have a lot. And so when we stop letting ourselves think the old limiting thoughts that say, what is it, Murphy's Law? If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. I don't know who Murphy was, but he must have had a horrible life. I don't want that life. If it can go right, it will go right. The universe conspires for my good. Everything that happens as a blessing in my life. I don't care what it looks like. If I can't see it yet, I just haven't looked long enough. Train yourself to think the thoughts that will give you the life that you want to live. When I found Science of Mind, not that it was lost, I was the one that was lost. When I found Science of Mind, I was 28 years old. Might have been 27, it was a while ago. And I had solidified a belief of poverty in my life, that I was really good at acting out. And so I had gotten myself, the geographical locations that say if I can only get rid of this, get away from this one person, everything will be all right, except we take ourselves with us. I had negotiated a move from Central Florida to Eugene, Oregon. And in the process, I had made a detour to Prescott, Arizona, where I went off a 40-foot cliff and the driver died, and I cracked my skull and lost the last pennies that I had in my life. Took a Greyhound bus back to Eugene with my 3-year-old child and was sleeping on someone's floor. So I am not foreign to this idea of not having. I don't say that as a badge of honor. Those were the dark days, and I'm all about being in the light. But I know what it's like to not know where you're going to sleep, how you're going to feed your child, and what you can do to make life work. Just to not know. It's not that I was lazy. I would do anything. I would have done anything to have my life work. I just didn't know. And I was so entrenched in this lack of self-worth and this self-deprecating conversation that the only thing that I could create on the outside was a mirror reflection of not having anything. Until finally, I'm sleeping on the floor, and one of the people who actually lived in the house kind of kicked me because I was in the middle of the living room and said, "We're going to church, do you want to come?" And I thought, oh my God, if they're like the Methodists, they have coffee. So I jumped up and threw on some clothes, not many that I had because I did manage to have all of my luggage lost in the plane ride out to Oregon. But I threw on some clothes and went, and for the first time in my life had some hope. Some hope that said there's a spark inside of you that is God itself, that anything is possible, that you are a powerful, creative, spiritual being, alive and well on planet Earth, and that the entire universe supports you in whatever you are choosing. And if you're having experiences that look like lack of support, that's because you're choosing them. You're standing before the buffet of life. And if you're walking away with an empty plate, it's not because there weren't things there for you. It's because of the way you see it and the choices you make, the words that you speak, the actions that you take. And if you change that, you can have a plate, a life filled full to overflowing. It was the first time that it was inside of me. And if it was inside of me, then I could do something about it. If it was some angry God up on a cloud that just never did like Barbara Fogelman. Isn't it weird how women change their names who didn't like Barbara? There was nothing that I could do about it. If the devil was in me, and I had been told that I was the devil's child, if the devil was in me, there was nothing I could do about it. But if it was me, if it was something that I just didn't know, that I hadn't seen, that I didn't understand yet, but I could do something about it, I was in. I was in, and I actually said to my teacher at the time, I will do anything you tell me to do. Tell me how to do this. I will do that. And so I started with affirmations and put little things up all over the house and colored them with crayons. And I started telling myself that I was wealthy and I was rich. I'm walking in Oregon because I can't afford the 35-cent bus fare. Telling myself how rich I am, how I have drivers, how I always travel in new cars. And when I finally did get a car, I would tell it how wonderful it was and how it drove in alignment with the mechanical laws of the universe and took me where I wanted to go, easily and directly, that it always started, and that it was beautiful and that I loved it. I always named my cars. And I started to have my life get better. Just a glimmer in the darkness, but a small light in a dark room, before you know it, lights up the whole room. So I started getting a hold of something. And before I knew it, I had a place to live, I had a job, and I was very involved in science of mind studies. I read everything I could get my hands on. I read the textbook over and over and over again. Ernest was my savior, because he told me that the entire universe is organized to support me, in that what I think about and what I create, I will get. That I have the power inside of myself. And it doesn't matter if it's never been done before. Sometimes we go, well, I can't do that. I've never done that before. Well, of course you haven't. That's why it's new. It doesn't matter if it hasn't been done before. That's actually how all of evolution happens. We do stuff that's never been done before. Things go from gills to lungs. Never happened before. We evolve. we grow. Although if you were here last week, it looks like we were planted. There's a part in the Bible, I happen to know the Bible very well. There's a part in the Bible that said the sons of God came and laid with the daughters of man. Sounds like ETs to me. Yeah. And then you find out that all of our DNA has been genetically modified. We are the GMOs. So I found out that there was something inside of me. Yeah, ponder on that, Curtis. There's something inside of me that I can use, but I have to stop sabotaging myself so much. I have to stop defeating myself with this old negativity, always looking for what was going to go wrong, how things were not going to work out, how I didn't have what it took, how I couldn't do it because it had never happened. I had to stop. And I got to where I would just talk nonstop to myself. Nonstop. Because I knew there was a possibility of a better life. I always had. When I was 3, I would go up to strangers and say, I am a princess. Please help me find my right family. In other words, get me out of this craziness. I know there's something better. I knew that. And so when I got a chance to work it, I grabbed a hold of it. And ever since that time, I have been committed to giving people the tools to create prosperity. One of which things is money. We will learn how to have money in the Summer Prosperity series, but remember, money is a byproduct of consciousness. And so we learn how to establish consciousness. A consciousness of possibility, a consciousness of saying yes, a consciousness of expanding and accepting levels that we have never expanded into or accepted before. How much pleasure can you take? That's the question. People say, oh, I'm on a spiritual path. Great. My spiritual path is how much pleasure can I accept? How much money can I take in? How many people can I touch? And that includes you out there watching online. Check out our website. The New Science of Mind textbook in Russian is available in the world for free. It is my commitment to people, not only to teach them how to have money. You know, in the prosperity class, we used to do the unexpected income program, and then we caught a lot of flack for the word unexpected. Now we do the increased income program. And so we learn that we can pull money out of thin air. Not so that we can go around going, I can pull money out of thin air. We learn how to do that so that we don't hold ourselves back by saying, I can't afford it or I can't do it. I noticed that by not having the money to do things, we don't have to do them. Now that I have money, I find there's a lot of work involved in this. Because the answer now is yes, we can, instead of, oh no, we can't. We'll just have to sit on the sofa and eat bonbons and bemoan our fate. No, there's an action required in life once you've realized that money is never an issue and that if you want to do something, you can do it. I'm deeply committed to people having more than enough so that we can get on with the good work. The important work, the work about changing the consciousness of the planet. How in the world can I, at any level, facilitate an end to hunger when I'm hungry? When I don't know how to pay my bills? When I don't know how I'm going to pay my mortgage or my rent or put gas in my car? How can I do that? How can I know peace when I am so caught up in turmoil and fighting inside of myself because of the lack? I do that. I add to the global mess by not being clear inside of myself. And so my commitment is to not only be clear inside of myself that says, I am a powerful, creative, spiritual being alive and well on planet Earth. I, Barbara Waterhouse, am God in form. I can do anything. And by doing that, and by bringing other people along, then we've got hold of power. They say money is power. I don't believe money is power. Power is power. The power to create, the power to change, the power to uplift. That's power. Money will chase you down if you are clear. And if you are not clear, money will run and you will not know what happened other than you're just so confused and life is so hard, not realizing that by giving into confusion and having a difficult life, you don't get to have the money. But it's not just about money. I love what the increased income program says, is that true prosperity includes perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. I'm a big fan of the happiness part. I believe that it is our spiritual job to be in our joy, to be in our joy, to be in our joy, no matter what. I've never seen a master or a mystic or a sage that was not joyful. It's so important to be in our joy. If we are in our joy, money will track you down. So if you don't have all the money that you think you should have, check out your joy level. And if you raise that, money will track you down. What kind of a person are you to prosperity? Do you take risks? I found that people who demonstrate prosperity, it didn't just fall in their lap. They had to do stuff. They had to open up to new ideas. They had to take risks. They had to put themselves out there. They had to try new things. I have not found that you can hide and be safe and be wealthy and joyous at the same time. Now, if you can, please clue me in. I will let you come up here and teach us all how to do that, but I have not found that. That whenever I look at a situation and say, I want to pull back, I want to shrink, I want to close down, that it affects every area of my life. The first thing to go is money. And whenever I can look at a situation and say, that's risky business, that's exciting, that's something different, that's something new, I might fall on my face, I might lose everything, I don't care, I'm going to go for it because I'm going to live in this life. Then money shows up, more opportunity shows up, people show up, things happen that I never even knew were in the works. But because I have changed my consciousness, my thought, my focus, that stuff shows up. So one of the things we're going to do over this 6-week rest of the Summer Prosperity Series class is to learn how to think. And some people will go, oh, Barbara, I don't want to do that. You're going to make me do these affirmations 1,000 times a day. Oh yeah, because your thinking is doing so great right now. We're going to learn how to think. We're going to learn how to make new connections in our brains. Because when we think the old thought over and over and over again, then what fires together wires together. The synapses in our brain literally grow together. And that's why some people come in here and say, this is just too hard. You're asking me to see the world a different way. You're asking me to feel a power within me that I've never known. You're asking me to live the life of my dreams. This is just too hard. Because you're all grown together in stinking thinking negativity. And so we learn how to pull those synapses apart and then give them something else at a higher thought to hold on to. And the only way I really know how to do that is to practice it. It's like going to the gym. You've got to start doing those repetitions over and over and over again. Going for a walk, you got to keep putting one foot in front of the other over and over and over again, and it grows muscles. We grow mental muscles that say anything is possible. The universe delights in supporting me. Everything comes together for my good. We grow mental muscles that say I am deeply loved. I am very important. I have great worth and value in the world. And then the outer reflects the inner. And all of a sudden we have all of this love and value and worth in physical form in our lives because we learned how to think those thoughts, and we learn how to get solid in them. Some people say we're crazy. Some people call us the prosperity church. Some people think all we care about is money. Those people haven't stayed very long. Because remember, money is a byproduct. Money is an afterthought. Money is what happens after you do the work inside of yourself. We did that treatment for freedom for almost 2 years before all of a sudden we found out we had to refinance. We had to. We didn't know. It was a shock. And all of a sudden, things have eased up so much. We did that treatment for freedom every day for almost 2 years before, out of the blue, something happened. We changed the consciousness. We released any sense of struggle or wrongdoing. We knew that we lived in an abundant universe where there's more than enough for all, and then it shows up because we did the work. So what is it that you want in your life? What is it that you want? How do you want to be in this world? There is a life of your dreams. And if you're already living it completely, hallelujah. Good for you. I've got a lot more work to do. I've got another book in Russian that's ready to go up on the website. I've got 10,000 people a month watching us on the other end of that camera. I feel committed to them. You can have more than enough no matter where you live, no matter what your government is doing, no matter what the socioeconomic status is you find yourself in. You can have more than enough because God lives inside of us. An abundant idea, an infinite idea is already within us. And wherever it is we focus, that's what we get. So it is incumbent upon us to learn how to focus, to open up to success, to open up to opportunity, to open up to this idea that the universe is conspiring for our good, that things are happening near and far, now and then, to make our lives better and better and better. It is incumbent upon each of us to take hold of this amazing power we have, the same power that calls forth into form all of creation, and to live the life of our dreams. It is not selfish. In my opinion, it is the noblest of deeds. To live the life of our dreams, to hold our light high, to have all of these wonderful things come into our world so that we can look at someone else who's got a really good story because they practiced it for a lot of years and say that is not the truth. Anyone and everyone can live a life of prosperity, of health, of happiness, anyone and everyone. And we know that because we've done it, because we've gone there. We've had that happen. I love it when someone homeless comes into the community. It's like, you just watch how quickly you get homed. Because we've done that. We've done that. It's like when someone comes and says, I got this diagnosis. Doesn't matter. We've already done that. We've already seen that healed and healthy and whole. It has nothing on us. We've already done that. We've done it in consciousness, and so the outer continues to reflect. I feel very strongly about this. I feel like everyone in the umbrella of my consciousness must have a wealthy life. So I want you to know that if you still want to be poor, now's a good time to run, because I am casting my consciousness on everyone in the center, everyone in this room, and everyone online. It is time on this planet for us to leave the idea of scarcity, lack, and limitation, which results in starvation, in wars, in disease, and move completely fully into the idea that says, God is what we are, and we have come here not to destroy, but to uplift. And we start inside of us, and when we do it, the outside must follow, because the outer is always the reflection of the inner, and so it is. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Our welcomers are coming up. Who's here for the very first time? What a good idea you had. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so glad you came. Keep your hands up so Selena can see you. Who else? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think we have the best center ever. I think we have the best people ever. I think we have the best music ever, the best ministers ever, the best practitioners ever. I think we are the best center ever, and that does not negate any other center. Everybody can be the best ever. See what a prosperous and abundant world we live in? Yes. These people have a card that says, welcome home. If you want to know more about what's happening at the center, you can give us your name and address. If you just want to know through email, we send out an email regularly, and just check email only, and we'll put you on our email list. But we have fantastic things going on. We just had one of the best fire walks we've ever had at this center. It was amazing. Amazing for people who walked, amazing for people who didn't walk. You don't have to do it, you experience it. Transformative, life-changing. We have things like that happen all the time, so we'll keep you informed. If you put your phone number down, I'll give you a call and check in. And I'm so happy that you came to this center today. Yeah. Now I'd like to invite our prosperity acceptors to come forward. Take out what you're going to give. Is that marathon training, Chris? She's training for a marathon. Yay! And I like to open up one hand, put the gift on it, and bring it close to my heart. Because what I know is that God is the source of all supply, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's energy, whether it's opportunity, whether it's businesses, whatever it is, God is the supply. God is the source. Because everything came out of that divine creative energy. We are God beings living in a God world. And so I know that this gift that we give right now goes to this center, but it carries us right along with it. That which we are, that which we know, every healing that we've had, every transformation that we have had. I know that our blessing goes with that gift, and I know that as we give, things happen, and the universe moves and gives back to us. And so right here and right now, we open to accept all of the blessings of life, all of the good that is ours now, the life that we were always meant to live by being who we have always meant to be. And in that, I know that each of us joins together to make this Center for Spiritual Living Asheville all that it was ever meant to be. It is a place of peace, a beacon of light, a tower of strength, and a fountain of wisdom for everyone who calls this center home. And we'll repeat our investment affirmation together aloud. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses the world. And so it is.